time for another episode of the Joshcast. Bringing neuroses to Southern California since 2016. The Joshcast. Bad IBS day. It's days like this I get very frustrated because I didn't... What did I do? What did I do? I didn't do anything. I didn't eat anything bad. I had a turkey sandwich from Starbucks. Well, maybe I just negated what I said. I had that and a plain croissant and tea. And I skipped dinner. And still with the IBS. Still. And my mother is telling me, well, you know, the older you get, it goes away because you'll calm down. And I said to her, do you understand who I am? Do you know who I am? And then she said, well, the older you get too tired to care. And I thought, that sounds about right. Burnout. Burnout. Nature's salve. Am I saying that right? Is it salve or is it sieve? I think it's salve. I think I got it right. A little less late today. That's good. Traffic looking its usual rush hour self. Fortunately, knock on wood, only have to take city streets, don't have to take the freeway. Poo. Getting my obsessive compulsive up to a good start as well. Useful. I just really wish I could eat whatever I wanted to eat. That would be nice. It would be nice to have ice cream. It would be really nice to have ice cream and not get sick. Ice cream is the drug of choice for perpetually single people, and I can't partake. In fact, it's getting to the point, I can't eat bread anymore. I can't eat anything. It's getting to the point where I'll have the only way for me to possibly find happiness will be to connect with other human beings. And I would much rather have ice cream. It's not fair. It's simply not fair. Not a fan of this sitch. Okay, I've noticed this, and this is something I don't know, this has been beyond annoying. I'm noticing that when people are, there's a new phrase that's being used a lot in the vernacular, where if I ask somebody to do something or I give somebody a piece of information, instead of saying, okay, I got it, or yeah, okay, I hear you, everyone's saying copy that now, which I think it comes from a military term. They were using it in the Star Wars movie. Hey, could you, we're, the water cooler's out of water. We're going to need more water. Copy that. All right, are we fighting in the rebellion here? We're working in an office. Copy that. That's a 10-4. What? Well, thank you, Lieutenant. I'm glad you copied it. Copy that. That's what we're at. Copy that. It irritates me every time somebody says that. Copy that. What? You're recording a podcast. It's not a war. Calm yourselves, people. But that's what happens to language. Language is a living, breathing thing. Oh, this happened. So I rewatched The Last Jedi last night. Let's talk about this. And I gotta say, this is the third time I've watched this movie. And this is the first time I actually enjoyed it. The first two times I couldn't stand it. But then this third time, I don't know what it was. I don't know why. I was like, oh, all right. Okay, I see what they did there. And it didn't, all of my complaints disappeared. And I find that troubling. Because I like to be right about things. So now I'm questioning everything. Well, if I was wrong about The Last Jedi, am I wrong about Judaism? Am I wrong about Waterworld? Am I wrong about... Those are the only two examples I can come up with. But you get my point. In spite of all the things that bothered me in the first movie, or the first go-around of watching the movie, it didn't bother me as much this time. And I find that maybe it's burnout. Maybe I'm getting older. Maybe I'm mellowing out. Maybe the things that used to irk me don't irk me as much anymore. I don't know. Perhaps this is a sign of maturity. Or perhaps when I watched the first two times, I was so depressed that my depression creeped into my enjoyment of the movie. I don't know. I do not know the answer to these questions. It will be interesting to see what they do in the third one. I gotta say, it seems like whenever there's trouble, they bring in Palpatine. Palpatine's the go-to. Always go back to Palpatine. I don't know, arguably, I think the strongest of the prequels was Revenge of the Sith. Why? Palpatine. Ian McDiarmid. If you've got problems, put in a Palpatine. I hope that's his opening line in the movie. Yeah, no one can follow me. That's right, no one can follow the Palpatine. With this Kylo Ren, Snoke. This is amateur hour, folks. You can't do it without, you gotta have the Palp. That's the lesson. You gotta have the Palp. In your Star Wars film, gotta have the Palp. Maybe that's why Han Solo didn't quite work. No Palp. It was palpless. Han Solo. Palpless. Rogue One, that was a good movie. Palpatine wasn't in the movie, but he was present. His forces were at work. Ah, God. Making a right turn, this pedestrian is not in any hurry whatsoever. And I know the pedestrians have a right of way. And I know I've been the pedestrian sometimes. But it's like, come on, man. Pick up the pace. It's 8:54. Don't you have somewhere to be? And he's holding a canteen as well. Another thing that pisses me off. I don't know why this is, but whenever I see somebody holding a water bottle or a canteen, it pisses me off. It's like they're flaunting their health in my face. I got this motorcyclist in front of me. I got to deal with this. This joker. Can't stand motorcyclists. Do whatever they want. They can do whatever they want. And we have no choice but to adhere. Now I got to double my following distance because a motorcycle can stop faster than a car. Don't want to hit the guy on the motorcycle. That would be bad. There he is, just weaving and bobbing between traffic. Like he's the king of the road. This podcast is turning into road rage. Motorcyclists. It makes me yearn for Palpatine. Gotta have the Palp. That's the lesson there. That is the lesson there. So this one will be, this is going to be a stronger Star Wars just because there's a Palpatine. Doesn't work in other franchises. They tried it. They thought they could handle that with Khan in the Star Trek franchise. Nope. Khan's not the same. But then again, it was a different actor. Maybe that was the problem. Benedict Cumberbatch, who's great, phenomenal actor, didn't make sense as Khan, though, to me. And of course, this tow truck is making a right turn in the middle of rush hour. Of course. Gotta have the Palp. That's going to be the title of this podcast, I'll tell you that right now. Why is everyone on the road today taking their sweet time? This is what I've noticed. It's the Friday before Labor Day, and increasingly, people are just taking the day off, either physically or mentally. This is a work day, people. Labor Day is Monday. You are still on the clock. Let's show some hustle here. Oh, I really hope it's only IBS and not a symptom of a larger problem. But it really is. I can't eat anything anymore. I can no longer have fun. My goodness. My goodness. Well, now what do I talk about? Where do I go from here? I mean, I went on a big, long Palpatine rant. How do you follow that? You can't even follow a rant about Palpatine with a rant about anything else. That's how good Palpatine is. We may just have to ride that Palpatine wave to the end of this podcast. That might be a thing that happens. No, I've got to talk about something else. We've got to move forward. You know, there's still all these restaurants I haven't tried in these neighborhoods that I've been in for years. You got to wonder. I should go to a different restaurant every day and write a blog about it that no one will read. How about that? Oh my goodness. I swear to you, the traffic today, everyone is just in a haze. People stopping, letting people make left turns in the middle of the road. There's not even a light. What is this, the 50s? I don't know why I'm at the 50s. I just assumed that in the 50s, more people would stop and let people make left turns. But it was also a time when the racism was horrible. But then again, racism is still horrible now. And I was going to say, well, but in the 50s, racism was institutionalized. Yeah, well, it's sort of institutionalized now, just not as overtly. Well, this is turning dark. This is getting dark really fast. I'm just trying to talk about somebody letting somebody else make a left turn. And suddenly this is turning into a social commentary? I'm not at all qualified to even comment on that? Red light. Why? Why? I was so close. I could have gunned it, could have gotten through it. I always get caught at this red light. Buena Vista Street. You were the bane of my commute. There's a lady next to me in a smart car. We accidentally exchanged looks. And she had one of those smiles that said, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk. This is a smile of defense. That's why I hate smiling. How many people right now are actually smiling because they're happy? My guess is it's less than 1% of the population of the earth. All other smiles are BS smiles. Only smile I trust is the smile of a chimp, which means that they're about to attack you. Finally, an honest smile. That kid is wearing a lime green shirt. Which he can do because he's a kid. And lime green is the color of childhood. Ah, his future looks so bright as that lime green shirt. But as soon as he hits his 30s, he will turn in that lime green shirt for a royal blue shirt. I love that they call it royal blue, by the way. It's royal blue. This shirt I'm wearing. Royal blue, I see. Well, I am nowhere near royal. They need to rename the color. Let's call it micro-living blue. How about that? Yeah, they're trying to make a big deal out of this micro-living. I don't know. It feels a bit like, let's make a mountain out of, let's make the best of a bad situation. Everyone's broke. So the people who don't have to do micro-living, who live in expensive houses, are going to produce a TV show about micro-living. Great. Continue feeding the opium to the masses. Isn't that literally what Oxycontin is? It's literally opiate to the masses. How did this get so dark? Palpatine, that's how. There was Palp. When there's Palp, things get darker. Driving by a place called Leonard's Locksmith. Now here's my question. Is Leonard the locksmith, or is the locksmith someone who belongs to Leonard? And how is Leonard related to this process? Yes, come in, Leonard. I would like to borrow some money to start a locksmith company. You shall, on one condition. It shall henceforth be known as Leonard's Locksmith. And I shall receive free service from you with all of my lock needs. Do you agree to these terms? I suppose I have no choice. That is right. For I am Leonard. And this is my royal blue scarf. Bow to Leonard. Bow! And that's how that locksmith shop came to be. Pretty obvious, I should think. I'm going to go through this yellow light. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. All right. Arriving at my destination, not as late as it could have been, later than it should be. Still feeling not so good gastrointestinally. But there's a Star Wars movie with a Palpatine on the horizon, and that's looking good for all of us.